The AI bubble is absolutely exploding right now and filling up at a rapid pace, and it's showing signs to be even bigger than the dot-com bubble. But is this actually a positive, and will this help the United States grow its way out of the United States debt problem that we have here? But first, let's dive in to more of the AI bubble and what I am seeing out of all of this, because that boom is accelerating, where AI spending is projected to jump 50% year over year to a record 1.48 trillion now for those kids at home. That is nearly as big as the biggest market cap of any company. That would be nearly, let's say, top 10 in the market caps of companies right now. And if that global economy continues to grow at the current pace, AI investment could reach as much as 3.3 trillion, which would be bigger than any company there, except for maybe Nvidia. And then 250 million multinationals, 83% of them tend to spend more in 26. And this growth is just essentially being exponential. Now let's look at the differences between the dot-com boost and burst in 2000 due to those speculations. They're all saying, oh, it's because of unproven business models and inflated valuations, where the current AI boom is viewed more as a grounded approach for real potential and real world activities and more disciplined valuations. That's where it's saying, right? But in reality, they're all looking at overspending. It's the same characteristics where we're seeing massive market speculations and investors willing to pay excessive premiums. Now, with this, right, everybody is saying, okay, you're wrong and wrong and wrong until you're right, right? So with all of this, when we continue to see these companies get inflated more and more and more, it only leads to one thing: the potential of that bursting. And the reality is if you take a step back and really look at the total valuation of AI companies such as Nvidia, it appears to be that these companies are well greater than any sort of relative good evaluation. But with this, right, we are seeing some positives as these are growing here. And if you look at the dot-com bubble, the stock market, they're all saying it's because of speculation, right? Every company that put .com in their name all of a sudden blew up, such as Amazon, all of these others. But if you really take a step back and look at how this all played out, well, let's just say it was overinflated between 95 and 2000, right? It took 5 years for this whole thing to inflate away and blow up. So we are not necessarily close to everything blowing up, but there is a lot of similarities because there's high market concentration in both areas. They've had, the four horsemen. It was Cisco, Intel, Dell, and Microsoft, which are still around today. Very similar to that Mag 7, where we see really three companies, Nvidia, Microsoft, and Apple, making up over 41% of the S&P 500 tech industry. And then if you look at the investment versus revenue gap, well, this investment in AI infrastructure is insane. And we're seeing that start to increase, right? I mean, you even see it here. Everybody in their governments are looking at the projections of these investments, and they're expecting them to go up at a rapid pace. So with this, right, the disconnect echoes .com's era fundamental problem, right? So it's all about the narrative-driven stuff. There's no real substance behind these AI companies, at least yet, right? There very well could be. And the fact that I'm even framing it like that is the reason why this has the potential to be a major bubble. Because if that's a big if, these companies start to blow up and explode and really become big valuations, well, that is when we can see the potential of all of this, right? So we need to really take a step back and look at how this all plays out and look at history, because history doesn't always repeat, but it often rhymes, right? This is a key saying here. So now we can continue to still look at all of this and watch how the comparable parabolic stock gains that we see climbing 43,000 or 4,300, percent in 5 years is comparable to the 4,500 of Cisco's. But everybody's saying, oh, there's more mature companies here, there's different structures, and there's real adoption. But the reality is that AI and that concentration is what many are looking at, right? It's not just me saying that we are in potential AI bubble. And I think it's ironic that I actually used AI to help research all this. I mean, it might even show, there is valid use cases for this, right? But these experts are saying that we could be in a big bubble and that euphoria drawing the comparisons. And there's a surge of enthusiasm. That's what everybody says. Others see strong demand, right? Because there's a revolution with money. That's money well spent. But it's driving spending, leading to record-breaking deals. Obviously, we've had massive amounts of inflation, but this AI bubble, would it be a bad thing necessarily? Everybody thinks the AI bubble could be a bad thing, but I honestly think that it's not necessarily that bad of a thing, at least in the interim, as long as you realize that we're in the potential of the bubble and it could burst. The reality is that the bubble in the dot-com era went on for 5 years. So you could have been screaming that the bubble is going to burst for literally 5 years, and you could have missed out on 5 years worth of gains. What I'm seeing here is that we still have got a long way to go because there seems to be a lot of investment going through. And what I also am seeing is that there's a potential of more investment coming, more VC dollars propping all of this up. But there is one thing that I see that is very, let's call it, worrisome. Seems like there's a quote-unquote circular economy going on here in the AI industry. I mean, look at this, right? The circular economy of the AI industry. And make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button. I'm literally one away from 400. So please, one of you guys who isn't subscribed already, subscribe for me. But if you look at how all of these guys, they're just literally moving money around from all these different companies in the AI bubble. Intel, NVIDIA, Microsoft, OpenAI, all of these guys, AMD, all just circling around. And look, hey, per Apollo, this is now bigger than the dot-com bubble. And it's being created because bots, automated software, run repeated tasks everywhere, playing a major role. 20% are classified as bad bots. And these bots can skew any web metric, generating fake clicks, impressions. I mean, you guys see it here on YouTube. I mean, on my other channel, I get just massive amounts of bots just pumping some meme crypto token all the time. So, these bots aren't necessarily a positive thing for all aspects, but they're coming. And if you don't realize that they're already here, well, I've got news for you folks. I'm sorry, because they're just going to get all the more crazier, especially as we get into this where money is going to become cheaper and cheaper, especially when we cut interest rates literally in 2 days here. I'm over here in Greece, so it's a little later for me right now. It's actually coming to you guys live at 7:50 p.m. But, I mean, I know you guys are all working. I'm working late. And the stock market and the industries around the globe, they never sleep, folks. So if we see this, right, the Dixie actually starting to climb up and look like it's starting to gain some strength, I think the AI bubble, what everybody thinks with the AI thesis, let's take a step back and really dissect this, right? Everybody thinks that We've got $38 trillion worth of debt now. We passed that Rubicon here in the last couple of days, unfortunately. So following all of that, right? Now they think we're going to look at, oh, well, we can grow our way out of this because the AI bubble, well, it's not a bubble, folks. We're going to see a lot of positive growth here, and we're just going to become so efficient that we can grow our way out of this. That's why the Dixie hasn't absolutely tanked just yet. It has had one of the worst years it's ever had, though, and it's starting to climb back up. Even though the S&P 500, I mean, look at this. It's going to pass 7,000 in the next couple of weeks because everybody's so bullish and just dumping their money into the stock market. It's absolutely insane. And because they keep dumping their money in the stock market, we see stocks grow left and right. It is something that we got to watch, right? I mean, look at these jumps here, folks. Bing, bing. I mean, the S&P 500, everybody's asking, oh, these economic bubbles, what happened with rapid rise in market valuations? Well, we're hitting all-time highs. And let me ask you guys in the chat or in the comment section, do you guys feel like the economy is in the most powerful position it should be in? Because if you ask me, I don't necessarily think so. You know? So at face value, you look at the stock market, you look at all of these valuations. Okay, everything looks like it's all peaches and daisies. But if you really take a step back and dissect the situation, it's extremely concentrated, and it looks like we are in the midst of a bubble. I'm going to be keeping all track of that, so make sure you guys are smoking that like Cheech and Chong. Shout out to All Nighter Hider and McLovin in the chat. Make sure you guys are subscribed for me. Help me reach 500 as my light turns off, and I'll catch you guys all at the next one.